see in the books. Therefore, to give you a feel, it was included in the discussion or in the schedule that we will allot one day for the discussion on those also, so that you don't see whenever you join an organization, whenever you look at the balance sheet of a company, you will be seeing it for the first time. For these reasons, it was uh, decided to allot a day for that. So you have the financial statements of Jio with you, Apollo Hospital, and two, three more. But there are, I'll not be able to take up all because of the time constraint. We may take up the financial statements of Jio today, and when the MHA people also decide, also join, we can take up another example from Apollo Hospital. The idea is to give you a feel of the financial statements. So I hope you have a copy of those statements with you as it was required for the day, or you don't have.
Yes, sir.
All of you have got, or some of you do not have. Can I know how many of you do not have? Hmm? 50 of you, 51 of you present here. Those of you who don't have copy of the financial statement in front of you, just okay. You need not to say sorry, but you just simply write you don't have. Just write your roll number and also that you don't have copy. I'll just count how many of you don't have. Yes, like this. 209 no, 224 no, 23 no. Okay, you are asking what I am asking about the copy of financial statements of Apollo, Jio, Reliance Jio, Reliance Infocom. Can somebody keep a track of chat box and find out how many no are there? If there are more, so we can take up something else. Okay. I think now you can stop. I got the idea. No, Kratika has got perhaps only.
So it was available on your in the study material provided by you on your website.
It is available. It is available. Kratika has got, Riza has got, but Tushar, Aziz, okay. But number of people, number of students having is less, far less than number of people not having it. And merely having is not enough, isn't it? You were expected to go through it before we could take it up in the class. Especially if you remember, those of you who are regular in the class may recall that I discussed with you about Reliance Jio. Can you recall that sometimes when it introduced, Reliance Jio, when it was introduced, it started distributing it free. Do you remember? This is what I shared with you.
Yes, sir. But
Yes, sir.
There was, the offer was that you will not be required to pay anything for the instrument or for the device that you will buy. You will just deposit some 1500 rupees as a security deposit, which will be refunded to you in case you return the connection. But there will be no charge of a connection. SIM will be provided to you free of cost, but only you will need to buy the device. Oh, sorry, you will not need to buy the device. You will be given the device for which Reliance will not, it will just charge you as a security. Can you recall that discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In the light of that discussion, I wanted to illustrate, I wanted to show you how was this accounted for by Reliance in its balance sheet. What was the logic of Reliance of taking you money and calling it as a security and not calling it as its sales. These things would have been better understood had we seen the balance sheet of those days, how Reliance Jio would have accounted for. All right, don't worry. You look at the balance sheet of Reliance once again of those early days. Once you go through it, note down whatever you wish to see. We can take up those once again at a later date. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Also
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
think,
sir. Sure, sir.
okay. Also think, what difference has it made? Why perhaps Reliance, not perhaps rather sure, what Reliance, uh, why Reliance did so? Instead of selling you device, it gave you on loan. So by now you must be, if you can arrive at an answer, don't post it in the group. Let the people also think, and then we can post the correct answer in the group. If you can arrive at a reason, why is it Reliance offered that device and took money from you as a loan? Reliance did not sell. Why did it happen? Is my question clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Think over it and post me privately, or you can post it in the. Uh, I think I need to create an assignment only. Then you can perhaps post it in the Google Classroom. I'll try to do that. Else you can post it in the group privately. Now we take up.
Sir, please repeat the question.
Okay. Let me type in order to evade taxes. Adil has written. Anyway, I will read. See, there's a difference between evasion and planning. Adil has written in order to evade taxes. So tax evasion means one takes illegal route to avoid payment of taxes. And if it is illegal, they will be caught. If not today, tomorrow. So there is something called tax planning, which is legal in nature, But there is a thin difference that you can draw between one particular line of evasion and another tax planning. At times, even tax planning becomes unethical. I don't know how many of you can recall the example of tax planning, which was perfectly legal, but equally 100% unethical. Can any one of you recall tax planning? By the way, before I was my question earlier that I made was clear. Somebody wanted to know what is the question. Are you clear about that? Let me write. Why did see? Don't you think had that data been in front of you right now, this discussion would have been more fruitful, isn't it?
So we can discuss. A lot of us have the data. It has been shared on the group as well. Anyway.
Just one second. Let me type the question. Why did Reliance? Why Reliance Jio was it about in 2014, maybe about 6-7 years ago? 7 years ago. This is the question that you need to keep in mind and then ask. Then answer me privately. Second question, I'm getting the answer. I'll let you know if they are correct or not. So far, I have got are not correct. Second question I ask you, because this question came into my mind because Adil has posted an answer that to avoid or to evade taxes. So to clarify that, tax planning and tax evasion difference was explained to you. My next question was, even within the tax planning, It can be perfectly legal, but it cannot be moral. Morally, ethically, it is incorrect. Can you think of an example which I gave you before? Okay. If you cannot recollect, I'll repeat. The example was that of no. The example was that of Sachin Tendulkar. Those of you who are his fans, my apologies to them. But the example I gave you was of Sachin Tendulkar. Now, can anyone elaborate why is it that his tax planning is perfectly legal but morally and ethically wrong?
So because of their transfer of their money to tax havens like Panama and
No,
like
no, no.
the British Virgin Islands.
I think Umar, it is not. It has got nothing to do with the tax planning. No, you have said it. I mean, you might have read somewhere, but my
Yes, sir.
question is very clear and their answer is also very, very explicit. You want me to answer it or you want to take some time? अरे भाई ये तो बता दो तुम लोग, अभी आंसर दूं
मतलब
या
वो
थोड़ा
लोग
बहुत
रईस
बता
हैं,
सकते
उनको
हो?
टैक्स बचाने की क्या जरूरत।
जी बताइए अजीज।
तो बता दीजिए
कह
सर।
रहे कि वो लोग इतना पैसा होने के बाद भी टैक्स बचा रहे हैं।
हाँ, वो जिसके पास जितना ज्यादा होता है उसको उतनी ज्यादा हवस होती है इंसान को, जिसके पास कम
सर
होता है।
भारत रत्न मिलने से भी मतलब टैक्स में छूट मिलती है ना।
अच्छा, तो वो तो लीगल हुआ भाई। भारत रत्न कहाँ मिल गया? सचिन तेंदुलकर को मिल गया क्या है?
नहीं
नहीं
मिला
मिला।
Yes,
सर,
sir.
नहीं मिला
Yes,
सर,
sir.
अभी नहीं मिला।
हाँ, भारत रत्न कहाँ मिल गया अभी उसको?
सब मिल गया सचिन तेंदुलकर को।
मिल गया मिल गया।
सर मिल गया। 2013 में मिल चुका है सर। सब
2013
प्रोफेसर
14 में मिला
CNR
था
राव
सर।
के साथ मिला है।
अच्छा, ठीक ठीक ठीक, मे बी आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिकलेक्ट। अच्छा, तो ये बताइए फिर सचिन तेंदुलकर के एग्जाम्पल से आपको याद नहीं आया? देखिए, मिसाल देने से आदमी को बहुत सारी चीज़ें बहुत देर तक याद रहती हैं। अगर आपको एक इंटरेस्टिंग एग्जाम्पल दें तो आपको याद रहता। और वो इसीलिए मैं कोशिश करता हूँ आप लोग इसको ये ना समझें कि टाइम पास है। जो सब्जेक्ट है वो मुझे अच्छे तरीके से आता है और मैं आपको इमीडिएटली बता भी सकता हूँ। इट्स नॉट एट ऑल अबाउट स्पेंडिंग टाइम अनफ्रूटफुली। एग्जाम्पल इसलिए दी जाती हैं ताकि आपको बहुत दिनों तक अच्छे तरीके से याद रहे। सचिन तेंदुलकर का और टैक्स इवेजन और टैक्स प्लानिंग का मैंने एग्जाम्पल आपको बहुत डिटेल में बताया था, लेकिन आप लोग उसको रिकॉल नहीं कर पा रहे। तो अगर एग्जाम्पल के साथ बात की जाए तो बहुत दिनों तक याद रहता। हमारे एक दोस्त थे, वो ट्राइबल एजेंसी में काम करते थे, बट ही वॉज वेरी फेमस, बहुत कॉम्पिटेंट माने जाते थे। जकी उनका नाम था, कराची के रहने वाले थे। मस्कत की बात बता रहा हूँ मैं आपसे। तो एक दिन मैंने उनसे टिकट विकट खरीदने के लिए गया तो उनसे पूछा, जकी भाई आप इस ट्रेड में कितने दिनों से हैं? तो कहने लगे कभी फिल्म देखी है? तो मैं कहा हाँ, कभी शायद हो सकता है बहुत पहले। बोले शोले देखी थी? मैं जी देखी थी। बोले ये बताइए कि वो संजीव कुमार अमिताभ बच्चन से जब पूछता है ट्रेन में कि तुम लोग ये चोरी कब से कर रहे हो, तो अमिताभ बच्चन का क्या जवाब होता? क्या जवाब होता बताइए? कि जब से होश संभाला है तभी से पैरों पे खड़े हो गए। तो मैं कहा इस जवाब का आपके ट्रेड से क्या ताल्लुक है? बोले बस मैंने जब से होश संभाला है तभी से मैं ये काम कर रहा हूँ। तो वो बात मुस्तकिल याद रह गई कि भाई ये इतने ज़माने से इस ट्रेड में काम कर रहे हैं। तो अब ये मामला है कि ये सचिन तेंदुलकर का, चलिए मैं आपको एक दिन और देता हूँ, एक दिन नहीं बहुत दिन देता हूँ, क्योंकि वी विल मीट। हाँ, मंडे तो इंशाल्लाह वी आर मीटिंग, तो मंडे तक का आपको टाइम है। और मंडे आप मुझे रिमाइंड करा दीजिएगा, आई विल एक्सप्लेन टू यू। और इसको मैं नोट भी कर लेता हूँ ताकि आपको, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आपको मुझे रिमाइंड कराना पड़ेगा हर दिन का कि भाई किस दिन क्या पढ़ाया जाना है। ये आज स्टेटमेंट पढ़ाए जाने थे, आपको मालूम था, शेड्यूल में लिखा हुआ है, तो आपको तैयार होकर आना चाहिए था। चलिए, फॉरगेट अबाउट इट नाउ। इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चंस गो अहेड, इफ नॉट टर्न टू पेज नंबर 70, बिकॉज अंटिल 69 वी कंप्लीटेड यस्टरडे। ये सब आपको बता दिया था। पेज 70 पर आ जाइए। हाँ हाँ बताइए। आई एम गेटिंग सम इंटरेस्टिंग रिप्लाईज ऑन माई, why I am saying interesting, because it shows your imagination. I mean, you are assuming those things which are beyond my imagination. जो आपके आंसर्स आ रहे हैं दे आर वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग बट गुड. आई मीन यू डोंट हैव टू फील बैड अबाउट इट. कभी कभी इतना अच्छा जवाब आ जाता है जो अच्छा. एक आंसर करेक्ट आया है, नॉट अबाउट रिलायंस, सचिन तेंदुलकर के बारे में. तो नेचुरली जिसने भेजा है उसे मालूम होगा भेजा, लेकिन देखो भाई अभी तुम इसको सीक्रेट रखना, लोगों को कोशिश करने देना. किसने वो आंसर भेजा है वो मैं नहीं बता रहा, और उससे भी ये कह रहा हूँ कि भाई तुम किसी को मत बताना. अगर मैं ये कह दूं कि अब्दुल्ला तारिक तुम किसी को मत बताना, तो आप समझ जाएंगे किसने जवाब भेजा है. हम्म.
नहीं
यस
सर।
सर।
लेकिन तुमने भेजा तो नहीं अब्दुल्ला, मैंने तो वैसे ही तुम्हारा नाम लिया, वो तो किसी और ने भेजा है. चलिए आइए पेज नंबर 70 खोल लिया आपने, पेज नंबर 70.
यस सर।
अच्छा क्या है पेज नंबर 70 पर?
वेन्यूज म्यूजिक कॉर्नर कंपनी के अकाउंट्स।
वीनस म्यूजिक कॉर्नर. तो ये एक कंपनी है जिसने म्यूजिक सर्विसेज लोगों को देना शुरू की थी, और सीए से अपने अकाउंट बनवाते थे ये. तो इनको लगा कि फीस बहुत ज़्यादा है तो खुद बना लेनी चाहिए, तो उन्होंने खुद अकाउंट बना लिए. अब खुद अकाउंट बनाया तो ये देख के बहुत डर गए कि भाई बिजनेस में तो बहुत लॉस हो रहा है. तो आप देखिए इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा गौर कीजिए कि क्या अकाउंट सही हैं या गलत हैं. अगर गलत हैं तो सही कैसे होने चाहिए. जस्ट स्पेंड अबाउट 2-3 minutes. In the meantime, let me set up a Google classroom assignment for your attendance. Just read it for about 2 minutes. I am going back to a classroom. Have you gone through that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what are the problems with the owner who has, is the business profitable or losses is running into loss?
Sir, I think a few of the things are not correctly recorded.
No, no, I didn't get you. Say it again.
Sir, I think a few of the accounts are not correctly recorded, as in unearned revenue should be treated as a liability,
Okay.
and investment by owner is also part of capital.
Okay. What I would advise you now, just take out your pen and paper, write down where this owner has gone wrong. Just for example, one I gave you, like Arma has said, that you go through in order, in order the way they are mentioned here. For example, first one is investment by owner. Is it correct to consider it as a revenue?
No, sir, it's a
No, sir.
capital actually.
No,
Okay.
sir.
So what? Good, very nice. So what you are expected to do with respect to each figure, if you think it is fine, how many figures are given here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Some 13 figures are there. Rest are total of 1 or 2 figures. 13 figures he has are there. With respect to each figure, you start with 3000 and make a note in your answer book that number 1, he has treated rupees 3000 invested by him as revenue, which is wrong. This should have been treated as whatever
So capital.
as capital, whatever as fresh capital introduced. Secondly, rupees 6000 he has included in the revenue, which is wrong. He should have something like that. So you need to write 12, 13 statements, write those statements, and then I'll discuss those one by one. Just one second. One who will be completing all 13 can post in the group, I am done with all 13. I think it becomes too long for, okay. Just hold on for a second. Look for the expenses. Don't write for individual expense. Just write salary, electricity, advertisement, rent. These are all expenses, and he has correctly classified them as an expenses. Or if you think it is wrong, then write that. So you will be saving of writing 4 sentences. Instead, you write just 1 sentence. Salaries, electricity, advertisement, rent, he has classified as expenses, and he is right. Similarly, drawings. If you think he has done correctly, okay. Else, write a drawing should have been treated as whatever you feel right, expense or revenue, whatever. Nothing to do with about total. Like this, you proceed. Once you are done, let me know that you have done it. You post it in the chat box. all of you who have completed all, just write also. I have posted the attendance sheet. So you may write after 8 up to 8:50 before you leave. Time and all I have not said. Just type 1 or 0 before you leave. Okay, how many of you could do it? Let me just see. I was busy in creating that one. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, good. We start with first one. Who submitted the first one?
Me.
Okay, Riza. Tell me what
Yes,
you
sir.
have written. Now listen to Riza carefully, and wherever you don't agree, just interrupt. Go ahead.
Sir, investment by owner would be treated as capital. Unearned revenue would be
Hold on,
treated.
hold on.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree? Or
Yes,
she
sir.
just
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
no, no, no.
Yes, sir.
I am afraid she has not said it correctly.
So fresh capital, introduction of fresh capital.
Or what will you do? It
Added
will
to
be
capital.
yes.
Yes, sir, added to the capital
Correct.
account.
The correct sentence, complete and correct sentence could have been. I'll repeat just like that. You said the remaining sentences. Investment by owners has been treated as revenue, which is wrong. It should have been added to capital as a fresh capital. Go ahead. Now go to the next one.
So unearned revenue would be treated as liability and also subtracted from revenue from services for the current year.
Okay. Go ahead and continue.
So salary expenses, electricity, advertisement and rent expenses are correctly treated, and as per the drawings it would be deducted from capital.
Okay. Then
And so coming to assets, cash, debtors, supplies, equipments, all are correctly treated. And talking about liabilities, creditors are correctly treated, but revenue from services would be recorded as revenue instead of liabilities.
okay.
And so Venugopal capital, so as we already know, we have to adjust the investment by owners as we have to add it, and drawings we have to subtract it, so it will be adjusted.
Any other comment on whatever Riza has spoken?
So Riza said that supplies are correctly recorded as assets, but when we get supplies, they are treated as expenses.
Yes, sir. Supply should be treated as expense.
Adil should
Supplies
be or
are in.
Riza? Who is right? Adil or Riza? Adil or Riza?
Sir, I believe supplies should
Adil sir.
Sir, Adil. Sir, Adil.
Adil. हाँ क्या कह रही हो तुम वर्मा?
Sir, supply should be treated an expense because we use them only for one accounting year. Also, we don't know its life, its running life here.
Are you sure you don't know about the period for which we are talking about?
Sir, supply is mostly one accounting period he last us, so I think there
But
would be an.
accounting period in this particular case is that 1 year or even less than that? If you read this carefully, it is only for a month.
Yes, sir. One.
Right, sir, right, sir. I checked it.
Got it? Fine, no issues.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. It
Very good.
would be
So
treated as an expense.
supplies will be considered as an
Expense.
expense. Good. Any other comment other than what both of them have talked about, Riza and this Adil or Adil?
Sir,
Adil sir,
about
Adil.
the
Adil.
amount of capital.
What do we do with amount of capital?
Sir, their closing capital is given.
Okay.
That is 21,140.
Okay. Is that closing capital or opening capital now?
Sir, opening.
Opening capital. Fine. Opening. Go ahead. Continue. Hamad. Yes. Go ahead.
But sir, did if we add the investment
Okay.
made by owner,
Now, just one second. Right now, the scope of our discussion is only confined to what wrong has he done or what right has he done. In the next part, we will talk about the
okay, sir.
compilation of the correct statement, isn't it?
Okay, sir.
Oh, fine. So up till now, uh, is there any other addition that somebody wants to make? Any additional comment? All the statement that you have noted, all the statement that you have noted, write down your roll number first, followed by all those statements. And if the scope of the word limit exceeds, then do it again. Like write 101 and accordingly go ahead write down.
Excuse me, sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, like I said, unearned revenue is subtracted from revenue from services as well. So, sir, here will it be considered as an adjustment entry or not? We have to just record it on the liability side.
What is the answer from other group members? Is the question that Riza is who asked Riza whosoever
Yes, sir.
Riza is the question she asked is clear or
Sir, unearned revenue, as we saw in adjustment entries, took two effects. Firstly, we subtracted it from as an adjustment entry. We subtracted it from the revenue in the profit and loss account, and then in the balance sheet we added it as a liability.
as a liability? Okay. I have a reservation about it. You need to think again. But before that, you write whatever you noted as soon as you can. And if you don't write, my conclusion would be that you have not worked it out. You were just sitting in the class. No, no, this is not. Yes, the way Aram has written, it should be written that way only. The way Iram has written, you can look at the chat box. Don't write one by one. Investment by owner capital. What is it? For your convenience, I am posting what Iram has written in the chat box again. You should have recorded it in your own words. Don't copy paste from somebody. I'll put it in the plagiarism check, and I'll come to know who copied from whom. So you don't cheat yourself. Write it whatever you wish. If you have not, leave it. Somebody wrote, you all have saved this as a Word file.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you all have this with you in the form of a text and you have saved it as a Word file. Good. Go to the classroom once again and upload the Word file. You are writing here good. Once you finish writing here, go to, for example, Maria has written, Maria, you have not written your roll number. Before it, you should have written your roll number, like 105, salary, electricity, ad, rent, and all have been treated well or have been treated correctly. Like this, you would have continued. Am I clear to you, Maria?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो आपको पहले दोबारा लिखिए, आप ऐसे लिखिए 105 और ये सैलरी से क्यों शुरू कर रही हो? फर्स्ट वाले
नो
से
सर,
शुरू करो ना, कैपिटल से।
नो सर, पहले आंसर जा चुका है, वो
अच्छा,
राइटिंग टाइप में प्रॉब्लम हो गई।
कोई बात नहीं। अब आप ऐसा करिए, ये पहले तो चैट बॉक्स में लिखिए और उसके बाद उसी को, उस वर्ड फाइल को आप क्लासरूम में अपलोड कर दीजिए।
ओके सर, ओके सर।
इतने ये
सर
लोग
हमारे इसमें सर कॉपी नहीं हो रहा है सर।
सर मोबाइल से ज्वाइन कर रखा है हमने तो सर, उसमें
अच्छा, कोई
कॉपी
हेल्प
नहीं हो
नहीं,
रहा
नहीं
सर वर्ड।
तुषार, नहीं ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, मैं आप लोगों को किसी चीज के लिए फोर्स नहीं कर रहा। आप लोग कोई हल निकालिए ना इसका। देखिए, आप देखिए, मोबाइल से ज्वाइन करें, आप कैसे करें, आप, मुझे इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं। मेरा इंटरेस्ट ये है कि आप जो डिस्कशन हो उसको आप सीखें और मुझे भी मालूम हो कि आपने सीख लिया है, तो आप कोई इसका हल तलाश कर लीजिए। चलिए, मेरे पास एक हल है उसका। अगर आप इसमें नहीं हो रहा मोबाइल, आप फाइल सेव नहीं हो रही, उस फाइल को कॉपी करिए और प्राइवेट जो कमेंट होते हैं उसके अंदर उसको आप पेस्ट कर दीजिए। ये हो सकता नहीं?
सर कॉपी नहीं हो रहा सर उसमें,
कॉपी
क्लास
नहीं होती सर।
कमेंट,
नहीं
क्लास
कॉपी।
मैसेजेस कॉपी नहीं होते।
अच्छा,
सर
चैट।
स्क्रीनशॉट लेके उसका कर सकते हैं, फिर स्क्रीनशॉट लेके उसे क्रॉप करके फिर उसमें।
नहीं, इतना देखो, इतनी जहमत मत करो कि क्रॉप करो, ये करो। स्क्रीन शॉट लीजिए और सीधा अपलोड कर दीजिए उसको।
ओके सर।
अच्छा, दूसरा, नहीं देखो, तुषार है या कोई भी हो, फिल वक्त तो आपने एक प्रॉब्लम को हाईलाइट किया, अब आप उसका सोल्यूशन भी निकालिए कि आप कैसे कर सकते हैं। ठीक है ना? इफ नॉट नेसेसरी टुडे, आप कल करिए। आप जो है नेक्स्ट टाइम अगर कोई ऐसा इशू आए तो आप उसको नेक्स्ट टाइम के लिए हैंडल कर लें। ठीक है नहीं? और ये जो आपके प्रॉब्लम्स हैं इनको आप शेयर कीजिए, अपने दोस्तों में कीजिए, मुझसे शेयर कीजिए, ताकि इसका कोई हल निकले। वी शुड नॉट एंड आवर डिस्कशन by only identifying a problem. We should find out its solution also. अच्छा, अब जो है ये आपको, एक तो ये हो गया कि आपने इसको पोस्ट कर दिया, तो ये अब आप, अच्छा चले, पहले आप कर दीजिए, उसके बाद में पैरेलल बहुत सारे काम होने मुश्किल हो रहे होंगे। देखिए, मेरे लिए बड़ा आसान है कि मैं आपसे ये कहूँ कि आप इसको पोस्ट कर दीजिएगा, आज नहीं तो कल कर दीजिएगा। लेकिन अगर सब लोग ठीक से बिहेव करें तब तो इसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं। लेकिन बहरहाल आपकी एज है, आपका एक फेज़ है, उस लाइफ में होता ही है ये। आपको अगर ऐसा इस वक्त ना करने के लिए कहा जाए तो आप एक 10 मिनट बाद ए ने बी से कॉपी किया, बी ने सी से कॉपी किया और उसको पेस्ट कर दिया, जो कि सही नहीं। इस वक्त आप करेंगे तो आप खुद कर रहे होंगे, इस वक्त आप के लिए थोड़ा मुश्किल होगा एक दूसरे से बात करना। आप समझ लें तभी तो आप लिखेंगे, ना समझेंगे तो मैं आई एम हियर टू एक्सप्लेन। अब जैसे अनस ने लिखा, इन्वेस्टमेंट बाई ओनर इज फ्रेश कैपिटल, करेक्ट। अनअर्न्ड रेवेन्यू इज लाइबिलिटी, drawing to be deducted from capital, supplies be treated as an expense, revenue from services part of revenue, rest is correct। ठीक, ये कर लिया आपने? shall I discuss or you are still writing? Even if one is still writing, I'll stop, I'll not talk about। आज तो बहुत कम स्टूडेंट ने ज्वाइन किया, क्या ज़्यादा कोहरा हो गया उनके घर में? आज सिर्फ देर आर ओनली 61, कल थे 80 के करीब, आज 61 क्यों रह गए? और you have not scheduled in your mind that Saturday is a non-working day, Saturday Sunday is a holiday।
सर इसे क्लासरूम पर अभी अपलोड करना है?
हाँ, इसीलिए तो कहा क्लासरूम पे अपलोड कर दीजिए, अपलोड ना कर पाए तो क्लासरूम के प्राइवेट कमेंट में कॉपी पेस्ट कर दीजिए।
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
हाँ, आप लोग कुछ सवाल करें, कुछ आपको अगर जानना चाहें तो आप लोग।
सर थोड़ी सी दिक्कत हो रही है इन ऑर्डर टू अपलोड दैट फाइल ऑन गूगल क्लासरूम,
आप
क्योंकि
हाँ,
यहाँ से मैंने कॉपी तो किया बट सबके कॉपी हो गए, मेरा खुद का चैट कॉपी नहीं हुआ।
तो असर नहीं हो गया तुम्हारे फोन में, कभी कोई जेन्युइन का असर हो गया?
सब पता नहीं, इसीलिए मैं दो जगह से कनेक्टेड हूँ, पता नहीं क्या इशू हुआ है
अरे
मुझे
तुम
या
एक
तो
काम करो, तुम वो अपने सवाल जो है मुझे वो कर दो, व्हाट्सएप कर दो प्राइवेटली।
ठीक है सर, आई डू
तो
दैट,
देखिए,
थैंक यू सर।
हर चीज का एक हल है। हर
यस सर,
चीज
यस
आप
सर, आई
अपने
डू
देखिए,
दैट।
हल सबसे पहले जो होता है ना, सोल्यूशन, वो सबसे पहले आदमी के माइंड में होता है, उसकी डिटर्मिनेशन में सोल्यूशन होता है। आप ये मान के चलें कि ये तो हमें करना ही करना है, तो हो गया, वो हो जाएगा। तो अगर आप प्रॉब्लम से शुरू करें तब मुश्किल होती है। चलिए, नाउ
ओके, थैंक यू सर।
okay, once it is done, you have either uploaded or posted or sent me anything you have done, I am happy with that. The overall idea is that it should be done. अच्छा, ठीक है, ठीक ठीक ठीक, राइट। अब उसके बाद आते हैं इसके सवाल के ऊपर। हाँ, इसके सवाल पर आते हैं। सवाल हैं पहला, प्रिपेयर एंड रिवाइज फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट, यू टेक दिस क्वेश्चन एज नंबर 2। ये मान लीजिए सवाल नंबर 2 है। पहला सवाल ले लीजिए, कमेंट ऑन द वर्किंग ऑफ बिजनेस इन अप्रैल। तो बिजनेस इन अप्रैल, oh, I'm sorry, you cannot, because you can comment it only once you prepare the revised statement. Okay, I'm sorry for that. So now, with all the input that all of you have discussed and shared, can you prepare the revised statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do that.
Yes,
And
sir.
comment on the performance of company. So what you are all expected to do, that work it out leisurely, maybe by evening. I expect you to post it. Before that, I'll create it in the Google Classroom. So on what time should I set for that?
So 8 कर दीजिए, I guess 8 तक तो सब कर
Sir,
लेंगे।
8-9 p.m. 9.
9 PM, चलो ठीक है। I'll create an assignment, और आपको 9 बजे तक उसको ये इसका रिकास्ट भी करना है, स्टेटमेंट दूसरा बनाना है, फ्रेश फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट, और इसके बिजनेस की परफॉर्मेंस पे कमेंट भी करना है। गॉट इट?
Sure, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, any question either on this or something else?
Sir, unearned revenue. So you were
हाँ हाँ
saying
हाँ,
that you have other thoughts about it.
okay, unearned revenue, number 1 is not your revenue as such, correct? Is not your revenue. If it is not a revenue, then what it is? It's a
Sir, it's a
liability.
liability.
It is a
It's a liability.
It is a liability. Where would it be shown?
Balance sheet liability.
Balance sheet liability.
Balance sheet liabilities. Now, someone also raised a pertinent question, either inadvertently or whichever. It will be this amount will also be subtracted from the
Revenue.
from revenue. Should you subtract it from revenue also?
Sir, when closing account should it not be subtracted then? क्योंकि it is not something that we earned as revenue yet, no?
Yes, sir.
No.
Sir, that what I was asking for, sir. Is it subtracted from?
Okay. It takes us to the basic concept of equation. We need to apply our mind on. So we need to, okay, let me just give you some clue. You need to differentiate between a transaction and a statement, between the figures conveyed to you as transactions and the figures conveyed to you as a trial balance. Are you getting something? Are these transactions, or these are the final figures?
The final figure.
Final.
Being final figures, will these be treated twice or once?
So
So
once.
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 Once. That means this revenue, unearned revenue, will it be subtracted from revenue or not?
So it
No,
won't
sir,
be.
we have already.
So it
You
won't
will,
be.
No, sir, because it will not, it is not revenue.
so you will, okay, Uruj, it will only be shown as liability.
Liability.
Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, try, and I hope your balance sheet should match. If it matches, there'll be only, you know, other errors, but otherwise it will be okay. Try to work it
So
out as far as okay. Try to work it out as far as possible independently. If not, you can certainly seek help from your friends. But let me once again advise you: only help. For your own sake, do not copy and paste. You will be doing no harm to me, not at all. You will be harming yourself. I will hardly be affected whether you learn, you don't learn, you unlearn, or you make me unlearn also. At times you write something that I feel भाई मैं गलत तो नहीं भूल तो नहीं गया. You know, really कुछ ऐसे sentences हो जाते हैं तो मुझे लगता है कि हो सकता है मैं ही गलत कह रहा हूँ. But anyway, you continue. It gives me confidence. मैं दोबारा पढ़ता हूँ, दोबारा किताब खोलता हूँ कि देखता हूँ कहीं मैंने तो नहीं गलत बता दिया था. कोई बात नहीं. We all enjoy it. बट थोड़ा सा ये कोशिश कीजिए कि किसी किस्म की चीटिंग नहीं होनी चाहिए. आप करिए उसको, एंड देन वी विल सी यू नाउ ऑन मंडे इंशाल्लाह. ऑल राइट.
Sure,
yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you, sir.
You can
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sir,
Assalamu
one
alaikum.
question.
Islam, my pleasure. Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday. You also enjoy. आप 8 बजे की रहमत से बच जाएंगे कल उठने में.